group. Today, I'm going to talk about on the topic for the trade occupations for the building and construction industry. So it's not about just only the trade ones. We will also be talking about any management or the general occupations and how these occupations are the good ones for applying for the permanent residencies and what are its career aspects and the other reasons for these ones, right? So the firstly, the what is the building and trade industry is. The building and construction industry is basically covers a wide range of occupations. Generally, people think that only the civil constructions or anything which is relevant to the civil engineering is basically building and construction industry. But we have got a wide range of occupation that covers this: the carpenter, the bricklayer, the roof plumber, any of those ones, mostly all of the trades which is required, wall and floor tiler and all for building a house or building any of these offices or residential buildings or commercial buildings or whatever, they all are considered under the building and construction industry. Anything which is other than the trade would be the civil engineers, who would also be the civil engineering draft persons. They are also considered into this. The occupations like landscape gardener would also consider into this one. The gardeners, the landscape gardener, the architect are again considered in the building and construction industry. And this way where we can find this one is if we go for Western Australian occupation list, and it talks about there are the different streams which are the prioritized one. We if we click around only for the building and construction, you could find that there is a huge range of occupations which is available for this. And if we have got an assessment in this one, or we have got studied in this one, this is really going to help you, as this industry is really prioritized at the moment for a good career as well as for the permanent residency pathways. If you are looking forward to change in your career, whether you have done your year 12, you have done any bachelor's degree, master's degree, and or anything, there is no prerequisite to get into this industry at this point of time. It gives you a good career opportunities, it gives you a suitable PR pathways, and anyone who has done any of these degrees are even able to go for these courses even. So what these courses, these trade courses are: if you are holding a student visa, then you must do these courses at then you must sorry if you are holding a student visa, then you must do these courses as a holder of a student visa on a not as a full time, but as a full time student only. You cannot fast track these one. It is minimum 2 years course. After completing these courses, this is all in the long term list of the federal government. You would be eligible to get a graduate visa, which is for 18 months. And while holding the graduate visa, you undergo a job ready program, which will help you in getting your skills assessment. Once you have got a skills assessment, then every state is currently prioritizing and is being open for these kind of occupations. The quotas of the states, definitely that depends upon what are the quotas. For example, like currently the WA is not sending any invitations, but when the last financial year we had the invitations, it was all about sending the invitations about the construction industry or the prioritized industry, even here also. So definitely, if you have done these courses, you have got your skills assessments in these ones, and once all the states will reopen, then definitely there are high chances to get the invitations in these industries first as compared to the other non-prioritized invitations. If you're a holder, let's say for example we give, so this is for someone who is getting into or changing a career or going to apply for these courses. Let's say we go for the another one where you have already done your bachelor's or already done your master's degree, you are a holder of a graduate visa. Then what are the options? These courses can be done under a fast track also, but only as a holder of your graduate visa. You can undertake these. You do not have to finish the full 2 year courses. You can undergo a fast track with a 1 year or a 2 years course, probably with the 1 year because that will suit you more. And then you can, in rest of your graduate visa, you can undergo the job ready program. There is one course in the civil and construction industry which it does not require a job ready program, and that's civil construction design engineer course. That's the diploma and the advanced diploma. It's a 2 years course which leads to a skills assessment of civil engineering draftsperson. It is a very, very popular course at this point of time because no job ready program is required. The advanced diploma completed in Australia is accredited by Engineers Australia. We get the skills assessment straight away once we complete the course, and then you are eligible to apply for an expression of interest in the respective state where you are. And all the states are generally prioritizing the construction industry for these skills assessments. So, having said that, I would talk about firstly that what are the job ready program steps that you have to undertake for this. The job ready program, the step one is the PSA, which is the provisional skills assessment. You would need to finish the Australian qualification. The qualification through an RPL is not accepted for the job ready program. So you must complete the Australian qualification as a face to face, as a full time or a part time student. That doesn't matter, but it must be Australian qualification, not through an RPL, because that's not accepted. Once you have done your Australian qualification, the required minimum one. For every trade, we have got a different qualification. Let's say, for example, someone is doing a commercial cookery, all right? So sorry, it doesn't come into. So let's say that someone is doing for a bricklayer, right? So the minimum qualification that's required for a bricklayer is certificate 3 in bricklaying. So, and as to complete the 2 years, you would need a cert 3 and a cert 4. But after, just right after your cert 3, you can enroll yourself for a provisional skills assessment, and you can start your PSA and further your job ready program. Few occupations, we have to complete the 2 years of a study to get the Australian study requirements. That is completely separate to what we need for the non 485, because if we are holding a 485 visa through our bachelor's degree or through a master's degree, and we have done this as a concurrent or as a holder of a 485 visa, then you only need to do what is the minimum requirement to either for a skills assessment, either for a job ready program or for an Engineers Australia. So if we have done only the certificate 4 is the minimum requirement for that prerequisite requirement for enrolling for a job ready program, then you do not need to do the diploma in that one, only the certificate 4. Or minimum requirement is cert 3, then you do not have to do a cert 4 into that program, and then you can just apply for the job ready program. What the job ready program, step 1 is the PSA, where you have done your 360 hours and have applied for it. Then, as a step 2, you apply for you enroll for a job ready program. That is, you must have an employer under a supervised practice where you can go and work under a supervised practice. This work must be either full time, 38 hours per week. Then only you can finish your job ready program within 12 months. Because it's required that it has to be 1976 hours. So once we have Yep. So yes, it's the 1976 hours. So once we have completed the job ready program with the 1976 hours, that's what we get a skills assessment. And this full skills assessment is further used to apply for your expression of interest. But when you have to, for the full skills assessment, while doing your 1976 hours, there would be a trade test that will be required for you to undertake. Okay, so the trades officer will give you a date and a time, and will come to your workplace which you have registered under a job ready program, and you must have done at least half of your program is finished, which is about 800 to 900 hours have been completed and updated in your portal. And then the officer will come and take a practical assessment of yours. Then you pass the practical assessments, continue working, and complete your 1976 hours, and then your job ready program is finished. At the time of completion of your program, that time also the office is going to get in touch with you through the emails and let you know that you have to upload your last pay slips or whatever is an outstanding document, and that's when the program is finished. Sometimes we do work more than 38 hours and we finish our 1976 hours in less than 12 months, but your job ready program cannot be completed. It is mandatory for an applicant to complete the 12 months as well as 1976 hours both for to be eligible for the completion of the job ready program. So the step one is the PSA, provisional skills assessment. Step two is enrollment, and which is where they verify that your employer is eligible or not. And then the step three is the test, and step four is where you complete the program with 1976 hours and minimum 12 months for a job ready program. Once you have this, then your skills assessments are done. You have received your positive skills assessment. Then the next step is for applying towards the permanent residency is lodging your skills assessment. Sorry, lodging your expression of interest, your EOI. So you are eligible to apply for an EOI for a 189 because most of all the trade occupations under the construction industry is under the federal government long-term list also for a 189 visa. So and for 189 minimum required points without any state or without any relative, you need to have a 65 points on expression of interest. Obviously, in the last previous rounds of the 189 which held in the last financial year, there even at 65 points also a lot of trade occupations or most of all the trade occupations were invited at the lowest points of 65. Given the scenario where it is a lot of competition and we are not having enough seats in the 189, I do not think that the 65 points would be enough for a 189. But the other states for a 190 or a 491, if you're meeting their additional criteria of the state, then definitely they are going to prioritize those occupations. Like, for example, currently with the Western Australia, for this state, the rounds which has held in 2023-24 financial year, every round has got the building and construction industry occupations in that one as a prioritized, and then after, once those occupations are done, then after the further rounds were done for the non-prioritized occupation list also. So it has got a good residency and the career pathway if you are thinking of changing or thinking of going into a new courses or thinking of what to study. And I do get a lot of information or a lot of queries about which state is the best one, and should I go with Western Australia, should I go to Tasmania, should I go to South Australia? uh, any state is good for this industry because every state has got the program or the requirements which is for if you have got a skills assessment. So I would not think that if you have got a skills assessment in these trades, then uh, you would have got any problems in really in getting your invitation sooner or later. Yes, it all depends that sometimes by the time you finish your studies or you have done your skills assessment, the program might have closed in that particular state, but that doesn't mean when it will reopen and the programs are never going to finish. It would, of course, it depends on number of seats. Last financial year we got a lot of seats, that's why the program ran for good 12 months, or it didn't stop, or maybe a month or so it might have stopped for. But if, like in this financial year, we have got lesser seats, whatever program has been run for in the particular states, the construction industry was always invited. So you only need to make sure that you have got enough time to wait for an invite. The non-priority occupations are, we are not sure, maybe they invite for a lot longer than as compared to the building and construction industry trade occupations. So if you've got a choice to choose for a one, then definitely building and construction industry is one of the most prioritized. Any other industry where the states are prioritizing is basically health sector and the hospitality sector. But again, the building and construction, because it has got a wider range of occupations, then I would say, and has got a lot of career opportunities also, then you must consider looking into those ones while you are looking for a career change, while you are looking to what to do while holding a 485 visa where you have done a bachelor's or a master's degree not leading to any skills assessment, or you wanted to have a second option while you are studying or while you are holding your graduate visa to get us to get the invitation from your respective state where you are, right? And now I have got few questions here. Let me go with it. So Anurag is asking, in painting occupation, is cert for mandatory to do the job ready program? Yes, Anurag, for the painting, certificate 4 is mandatory because that's the minimum requirement from the trade to apply for this. And then you can further go ahead with your job ready program. If you, and sometimes it all depends upon also that some of the courses where it is an integrated courses, then you would not be required for. Okay, we have got Raghavendra, and the question is it possible to get an invitation without work experience? I have lodged UI 118491 civil engineer. It really depends upon that it is not mandatory to have a work experience, let's say for a 189, okay? And for a 190 and a 491, that depends upon which state have you lost your expression of interest for. For example, in Western Australia, if we talk about the 190 and a 491, neither you need an experience nor you need any job offer letter to meet the requirement of the state. Though WA has got the requirement that if you have not studied in Western Australia and you have lodged an expression of interest for the WA, then you must show that you have an offer in your nominated occupation. However, it's the prioritized industry, which is building and construction industry. If you have got that, then you are not required to provide any of the job offer letters. So it's a win-win situation in any scenario where for any other states, if they need the job offer letter, then you can move to WA if you have got a skills assessment in this occupation. It's a very good opportunity in those scenarios. And then we have got next question from Arshad Khan, where he says, early childhood graduate diploma, 70 points. What are the chances? Early early childhood graduate diploma, that's a good skills assessment where you get it. And 189 from the last so many rounds, it has been held at 65, and other states are also prioritizing for this occupation also. So I don't see, it's just a matter of time when the invitation rounds will held, should be fine. Karma Thinley, does certificate 3 in commercial cookery need JRP and experience? So certificate 3 in commercial cookery is not enough for a chef skills assessment. You need a minimum a certificate 4 in commercial cookery, that from where you can do a job ready program. With the cert 3, you can do the job ready program as a cook only, not as a chef. Experience is basically your job ready program is an experience for 1 year which you have taken. Let's say that you have already got your experience and then you have your certificate 3 in commercial cookery, then you need a 3 years of a full-time experience to get a skills assessment, and the cert 3 will lead you to a cook, cert 4 will lead you to a chef. It's not mandatory to do a diploma if you are only considering it for a job ready program. For a graduate visa or to meet the Australian study requirements based on a cert 3 for a diploma, then you would need it. Tenzin Nobu, can we apply for a student visa to next student visa if we are not eligible for TR? There is no restriction so far so yet to apply for another student visa while holding a student visa, as long as, but they are also making it strict for the student visa holders, as long as you meet the GTE and you are able to convince the officer that what is the reason for further study and how it is going to enhance your career or help you further, then you would be fine. But however, there is no restriction so far so yet. Even after applying for a Graduate visa, it has not come into it is not into the effect yet. It is just that they have made an announcement that they are looking into to stop the 485 holders to go back onto the study. But the nitty gritty of the requirements has not been announced yet. Anurag, which is the best trade occupation for Tasmania? Anurag, again, so for the trade occupations, when we go into the Tasmania occupation list, they have considered a lot of construction industry occupations over there. There's no one best over there. As long as you get industry into that industry, you will be fine for it. What's the difference between 482 and 494 visa? Anurag, again, 482 visa is a work visa where it's a temporary visa and which leads to a permanent residency. And while applying for a permanent residency for it, after holding a 482, how you apply for a 186 visa under a TRT stream, you again need the employer to sponsor you. However, when you are holding a 494 visa, and from there, where after 3 years, when you apply for the 191 visa, you do not need an employer. You only have to show that you have worked with the same employer or with your nominated employer for 3 years. In a 482 visa, if you change the employer, your time will restart. So, what I'm trying to say is, let's say that you hold a visa for 4 years under a 482 visa, and you have worked with your employer for 1 year, and then you have changed your employer, you go to another employer, then you have to again restart your work for 2 years in order to apply for a 186 visa. However, in a 494, if you already have got your employer, you have worked for 1 year, you change the employer, you are renominated, your 1 year will still be counted, and then you need for the 2 years to get the permanent residency under 191 and not the employer documentation or to prove it's again a genuine position or being nominated again. It's straight away one application only. And the choice between the 482 and a 494 is basically if the changes will come for a 482, that can be implemented towards the 186. But under a 494, once it's granted, any changes come, you will not be that will not be applicable to the 494 holders. Okay, so next question is from again the Raghuvendra, sorry. So may I know which states and territories don't need work experience for civil engineer? Yes, definitely the Western Australia does not need any work experience or the job offer letter for a civil engineer for a 491 visa. I got my TR for 10 months. Do you recommend me to study advanced diploma in civil construction design? Ranjan, yes, I would recommend that for you because this course, as a holder of your 485 visa, if you do this course, you can go under the fast track, finish that within a year, 1 year time, though you only have got 10 months left on it. Closer to the date, you can apply for the student visa. As far yet, there is no changes yet. And then you can apply for, and then you can get a skills assessment, which is definitely into a good industry at the moment, which seems to look promising for a permanent residency pathways. Next one is from, we've got Masum. Is it a good choice to complete advanced diploma in civil construction? If it's not, what could be easier way to get permanent residency? All right, so okay, I know it is a very popular course, which is advanced diploma in civil construction. For a 485 holders, it is even easier because it's only a 1 year course, no experience required. It leads to a skills assessment, which is looking promising at this point and at this stage for getting a permanent residency. If you have got a choice of finishing this course, even if as your second option, I would recommend that one because it does help you a lot, and every state is looking good for this. Desai, and I'm living in New South Wales. My occupation is civil engineer technician. My point is 49190 point. I apply 190 New South Wales and WA 491 and 190 as well, and 189. All my experience is offshore. How much chance? So you are currently living in New South Wales, and so the WA will not look into your UIs. As I'm not saying they are not going to look into, but they prioritize the UIs for the ones who are living in Western Australia. So you have got more chances of receiving an invitation from the New South Wales once once you meet their requirements for the additional state requirements. If you wanted to be eligible for WA, then you must look into relocating to WA. Sort of. I'm at a 485 visa and have COE because I'm studying Diploma of Community Service, one semester completed. Can I apply for another COE and study Advanced Diploma of Civil Construction Design? As long as you can, yeah, as a holder of a 485 visa, you do not need a COE to study. You can work, you can study on a VOE also, because it is your requirement that how do you manage to study two courses at the same time. As long as you can manage to finish those courses, the colleges would not have any issues for these ones. They can do it for you. All right. If Fortnum and Tasmania is granted, can I change the state to Victoria Regional? 491 visa is basically a regional sponsored visa. Though the states want you, or there is an obligation for you to stay into your state for 3 years after grant of the visa, but under the federal government, there is no such restriction that you cannot move to the state or live and work. As long as you are living and working in the regional area, you should be fine. I got positive skills assessment. Next question is from Kumar Gimre. I've got positive skills assessment as material technician. What is the chance for getting PR? For a material technician, it would be a bit of a struggle as compared to every state where they are prioritizing the three sectors where it is the health related, construction, or the tourism. I mean the hospitality. And Okay, so there's one last question, and from Ranjan. I'm residing at Bathurst, and so can you study Advanced Diploma of Civil Construction online? These courses are available online also, yes, but there have been a few instances where you do have to visit the college for your assessments and everything. So you need to speak to the colleges and see, but definitely the distance learning would be allowed for in these scenarios also. And I guess that's it, guys. Thank you so much for listening today, and we'll get in touch later again. And stay tuned for listening to us. Thank you.